Scarlet Witch, issue number 2. That's right, folks. Steve Orlando continues on this book. And probably for the best. It's been an incredibly fun ride. It's still going strong. This book answers a lot of questions. It raises more. We are now delving a little more deeper into the history of the Marvel Universe and the basic nature of like a Nexus being and all that stuff. And that is a lot to deal with. It makes sense. Wanda herself is a Nexus being, someone who is, I don't know what Nexus really means. It's someone who is fully free of the burdens of the multiverse or something like that. And then we introduce some more characters and like we learn what's really going on here with the villain that we're fighting, who she is truly. And it is quite the reveal. It's okay. I don't know if this is my favorite issue we've seen of the run, but I am not disappointed by what's going on. It's just a lot to take in, especially when you're like, okay, we're introducing this and then this concept and then this concept's coming in. Let's see what we got. So it's in Lot Kill. Our evil lady just killed Wanda. We are calling her the Griever because that is her name, and we'll come back to that in a minute here. But Darcy and Pietro are like, okay, we got the townspeople safe, but I don't really know what we're supposed to do next. Pietro is pretty much certain that Wanda is not dead. Her body might have been destroyed, but my sister is beyond flesh. She will come back in some form. She has to find like a suitable host or something and she'll return. Easy peasy. So, as they're having that conversation, let's figure out where Wanda is. Well, she is in some form of the afterlife. This is the land of the dead, and she has been brought here because she walked the path of witches, and this is like where a witch goes when she is lost or dead or whatever. And this is a character called the Queen of Nevers. She is an old ancient being who's got like the Wanda classic headgear, a big flowing cape, and she is a being above a lot of beings. Where does she rank on the hierarchy? I don't know. She seems important. And we learned that the Griever, at the end of all things, that's her sister. So there's like a war going on between her and her sister. And what does that mean? Well, we'll explain it to you because it's kind of hard to understand. Wanda is a Nexi character. She is one of her Nexus beings. And you can see in like the Queen of Nevers some of the other characters that are Nexus beings like Odin or Franklin Richards or Kang or the Phoenix, that kind of stuff. Character Napoleon, is that Napoleon I see in there too? That's a weird one to pull. Okay. That threw me off. And she's like, yeah, you are a being that exists outside of everything. You're you're Nexi, okay? You matter to the grand cosmos. You are free of the bondages that are like the Nexus points and all that stuff. If you're watching the modern Marvel movies, this might mean something to you. But I don't know if Wanda is a Nexus being in the movies or not. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the Griever at the end of all things, she wants to kill Nexus beings because they're bad and she hates them. And the reason she's coming after Wanda now is because there used to be another Nexus character that had a twin and it made him stronger, and then she killed it. And just having the power to be dangerous towards the Griever really scares her. So if she can stop Wanda and Pietro before their combined power, before their joint slay just like maximizes and they Maximoffs. Sorry. That was stupid. Doesn't matter. We're keeping it in. We're keeping that in. Yeah, the Griever just wants to defeat Wanda because she represents something she hates, and her sister's like, well, I don't know. Like, I'm the Queen of Nevers. I'm just trying to do my best, and you have to choose now. Like, if you want to walk the path to fight her, if you want to give in. We'll see what she chooses, because we got to cut back to what's going on in Lot Kill. Darcy and Pietro still don't really know what to do. They're trying to think of a plan. Darcy keeps calling him Quickie, which is a really funny name to call him. It works very much for everything we're doing with this character. They kind of have a base plan. One has got a bunch of junk underneath like the shop. Maybe they could find some stuff in there that'll help them. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to send Darcy somewhere to pick someone up to do a thing. That's where she's going to go. That's where we're headed. Back in the land of the dead, we see Wanda has a choice to make. She either can walk the path to go back to the surface world and save her family and save her everything going on in the world, or she can stay here with the Queen of Nevers. Like, I will give you the choice. You are my being. I do not say this lightly, and I cannot make the choice for you. It is a choice you have to make. You can stay here with me, we can be okay, be happy, we can watch reality phase out, and maybe you could learn a thing or two about who you were supposed to be, or you can go back and fight the fight that you've been fighting your whole life and learn something along the way. What path is Wanda going to choose? I think we all know. Before we get that answer, though, what has Pietro picked up from the basement? Well, he's got like a cursed circular saw. So he's got a saw. He's going to cut down all of the Griever's pillars. And she's like, you're nothing. You're the lesser twin. I don't need to waste my time with you. He's like, I don't care. I'm just going to do this until Wanda comes back. So I'm going to start cutting down your shit and see what happens. We then head to the Balkans. And you're like, what are we doing in the Balkans? And Darcy is headed to like a cabin deep in the wilderness. And she says, look, I'm just going to cut to the chase. Wanda's dead. Lockhill's on fire. People are going to die. I need you to help me. It's like, okay, come in. So who is she getting? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. It could kind of be pretty obvious what's going to happen. But we'll get there, right? So the fight continues on with Pietro and the Griever, and it ain't looking good. And then as the fight is continuing, Pietro gets hit, and suddenly like some little weird like thing breaks off of the Griever's helmet, and it turns into an arrow, and it pierces into her skull. And you're like, oh, we're using something else here. Who else is on our team? Oh, it's Lorna. Yep, he called his sister, the Mistress of Magnetism. She's here. Polaris is about to help out. And he's like, oh, you forgot. We have another sibling, and she's gonna kick your ass a little bit. And it's like, hey, hell yeah. Wanda's down in the dirt. Lorna and Pietro are going to team up and do something fun here. I cannot be mad at that. It's really fun. Both these characters were in the first Scarlet Witch book. Pietro got a little bit more to do because he's the more prominent character. But now Polaris is here, so that's exciting. I like her. I think she's a fun character. Back in the land of the dead, Wanda makes her choice. She has to go continue on while her family's in danger. So she's going to swim the depths until like up is down and darkness becomes light. She's just going to find her way, and it's going to take her to the feet of an old Devourer where we meet a character we have met before. He's a character who's existed in Marvel before. His name is Moradin, whatever you want to call. What if like a big Cthulhu monster just like guarded your passageway? She's like, look, I just seek passage. Like, I don't want to do anything. And he's like, oh, you don't want to do anything? Am I not worth doing anything for? You know, I've been trapped here for so long, and I just need like a host to get me like back to what I need for my great corporeal form. Like, it could be pretty easy just to use you. And she's like, fine, whatever. Like, try whatever you want on me. Clearly, you're like hunger for something. So here's like a freaking apple to eat. And he's like, an apple? You think it's going to stop me? She's like, no, it's just like a gesture, whatever. Just stop trying to bond with me or whatever. So they get into a fight. Wanda fights Cthulhu, if you are interested. I am. Like that part of the book. And she's just like, you are underestimating me. I have Chthon inside of me. Like, I can do these things and do the things you've never heard of. So she like blasts herself through Moradin's chest, and when she gets through, she loses all the color of the Scarlet Witch because he's like, oh, now I have rendered the Scarlet Witch, but it's like a green amateur. You are nothing. You are nothing. You do not know what lies beneath you. And she's like, I always know. Like, I am Scarlet Witch. There's always further to fall, but there's always another hex. So she blows him up. She's like, look, sorry that happened, but them's the breaks, kid. And he's like, no, this isn't how I fail. And as she starts to swim away, being like, I'm going to pass now, we realize that he actually did take control of her and is consuming her body until she becomes like a weird squid Medusa creature, and the Devourer has taken over the Scarlet Witch, which we knew was coming. I think they were teasing that Scarlet Witch was going to get like a scary redesign for some part of this book. But I think it's kind of cool how, like, earlier in the book, Pietro's like, well, Wanda is above flesh. Like, she just needs to find some flesh to get her back up here. Well, no, her flesh has been consumed. That's kind of interesting. I like that angle. Fun book, looks fantastic, really cool, sticks true to everything we're doing here, if only a lot going on. You know, it's like, okay, so she's the Griever at the end of all things, and this is the Queen of Nevers, and they're going to meet Moradin, and she's a Nexus being, and it's like big concepts that this book has explored, but ultimately not to this level. So it's a lot more than what we're used to for what this book normally establishes. That being said, I think it works fine. I think it looks good. I still enjoy every time I read this book. I don't hate this at all. I'm glad we're getting it. I'm glad this is happening. It's crazy that a Scarlet Witch book makes me so excited because I never thought that would happen. But it is. So, Scarlet Witch issue number 2, I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.